Right now at 6, a suspected serial killer indicted for a 4th murder.
Why our girls? How? Just tell us.
The heartbreak from one victim's mother and what investigators are now saying about their case against Jesse Calhoun.
Plus, a playground gone in a fire, and investigators say it was no accident.
It did not take our promise. It did not take our people.
Then, a teenager's life cut short by fentanyl, and the mother who refuses to let that be the end of his story.
He was and always will be my favorite person, the love of my life.
What she told the dealer who sold the deadly pill today, as he was sentenced to over a decade in prison.
And a reminder.
Fire season is not over here in the Pacific Northwest.
As the region braces for our first heat wave of the summer.
Well, good evening, everyone. We want to get right to breaking news with the man accused of killing 3 women and dumping their bodies across the Portland area, now charged with a 4th murder.
Investigative reporter Kyle Leboshi is in the newsroom for us. Kyle, you spoke with the victims' families and prosecutors.
Well, this new indictment confirms what police and prosecutors have hinted at for months. They think Jesse Calhoun is responsible for at least 4 murders and maybe more. A grand jury indicted Calhoun for the death of 22-year-old Kristen Smith. She was reported missing in December 2022. 2 months later, her remains were found in a wooded area of southeast Portland. Calhoun now faces a total of 4 counts of second-degree murder and abuse of a corpse for a string of suspicious deaths. The bodies of Charity Perry, Bridget Webster, and Joanna Speaks were all found in wooded or secluded areas around Portland over several months starting in February 2023. Police and prosecutors haven't said how they link Calhoun to the alleged crimes or how he knew the women. The mother of Kristen Smith said she too has questions.
We hope that Jesse Calhoun, if he has any heart and soul in him at all, will give us the least he could give us, the respect to tell us why. Why our girls? How? Just tell us.
Previously, police and prosecutors linked Calhoun to a 5th victim. 22-year-old Ashley Real was found dead near Eagle Creek in May 2023. Prosecutors said this is still an active investigation and they're working with authorities in Clackamas County on that case, although so far no charges have been filed. Calhoun has pleaded not guilty. His trial is scheduled for 2027.
Kyle Leboshi on the breaking news. Thanks, Kyle.
Developing this evening, newly released surveillance video shows the moment someone started a fire on a southeast Portland preschool playground on Sunday.
Now you see the man walk up to the slide structure, and a few seconds later you see what appear to be flames glowing behind it. Investigators now say the school may have been targeted as part of a bias crime.
Celine Stevens is live outside the Cairo Academy near Southeast 139th and Stark with the update. Celine.
David, Christina, well, you can see that playground behind me and that authorities say was destroyed in that intentionally set fire that happened early Sunday morning. Now, if you take a look at it, you're going to see those play structures just burnt to a crisp and most of that white fence just melted to the ground. Now, that suspect in the fire all caught on camera.
And the flames were coming over the top of the church.
Flames and smoke shooting into the air early Sunday morning after a fire was set at Cairo Academy's brand new playground in southeast Portland.
We had no idea what was burning. We were just monitoring to make sure it wasn't coming this way.
That fire destroying the 2-month-old playground that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to build, according to Cairo's executive director, which stands for the Center for African Immigrants and Refugees organization.
We imagine it to be our early learning hub, a place where children, especially from refugees, immigrants, and low-income families begin their journey with joy, safety, and a sense of belonging.
While he says they will not allow this incident to define them, this fire still took a lot from them.
This was about safety, it was about sense of belonging, it was about community pride. So that is what is lost more than the dollars.
This early learning center, which serves immigrant and low-income families, is set to be the first Cairo-owned preschool in the state. Now, it's also the site of a criminal investigation and a potential bias crime.
This was obviously something that was done on purpose. This wasn't by accident. Again, that goes to that concern of why here, and clearly it was chosen on purpose.
The fire leaving some rattled.
We live in a times that is so difficult. We see all these situations with immigrants, and unfortunately it's been happening, and we are a Latino congregation, and we're really kind of aware about these issues.
Now, Cairo is raising donations through a GoFundMe to try and rebuild, as they still plan to welcome kids into the new school in September.
This fire may have taken down our structure, but it did not take our promise. It did not take our people.
Now, luckily, the main building that houses the classrooms were not damaged in this fire. PBB says despite this event and other recent crimes, they have not noticed an uptick in biased crime cases or intentionally set fires. Back to you.
Celine Stevens with the update in Southeast Portland. Thanks, Celine.
In your headlines, Tigard police are looking for a man accused of randomly attacking an 82-year-old woman that left her hospitalized. It happened around 6:45 this past Sunday evening on Fano Creek Trail behind the Tigard Public Library. Police say the man followed the woman, suddenly attacked her, then took off, leaving her unconscious on the trail. Passers-by stopped to help and called 911. The man is believed to be in his early 20s with an athletic build. If you recognize him, contact Tigard Police.
Washington voters, you have just under 2 hours to get ballots in for today's primary election. In parts of Clark County, there are just 2 items on the ballot. It's a levy lid lift for Fort Vancouver Regional Library District, plus a Vancouver City Council position. Ballots must be postmarked by today or in an official ballot drop box by 8 tonight.
Meantime, Vancouver voters will be deciding this November whether to raise property taxes to fund more police. City Council just approved putting Proposition 5 on the ballot. If passed, the levy would add up to 13 officers, cover equipment and vehicles, as well as help pay for investigations and traffic enforcement. It would raise $5.6 million a year for 6 years. City leaders say it's needed to reduce response times and meet the demands of a growing population. Okay, let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino for a look at the weather.
And Matt, it's been pretty mild and kind of summery today, but it sounds like a bit of a change is on the way tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a couple of big changes on the way. The first one is tomorrow, and for a preview of that, we can go to the coast. Look at the dark clouds gathering from our Lincoln City Skycam. 64 degrees, and those clouds are thickening and lowering, and they will bring us rain tomorrow morning to the Portland area. So that'll be different compared to our recent couple weeks of mornings that have been dry and sunny, right? There's rain along the Washington coast already. A little bit has moved inland, but the main batch still offshore, and that'll reach the metro area about 4 a.m. So expect it to be raining for that morning commute. You can see that rain that pushed inland into the Olympics right now. So morning showers, so that has our attention a little bit. And then pleasant weather on Thursday and Friday. But then we really turn to the hot weather that's coming next week. Beginning on Sunday, we'll climb into the 90s. On Monday, triple-digit heat for the first time this year. Still very hot on Tuesday as well. And these will be the hottest days of the summer so far. So again, this will be a big switch because it hasn't really been that hot recently, but it's going to get that way for about 2-3 days. If you look at the hot weather that we've had so far and that we are into, this stretch that we're in right now, from the 2nd of August to the 17th, that's the longest stretch of the year where Portland's record highs are 100 or greater. So this is when we typically get it. Our hottest day so far was 97 degrees back on July 16th. We'll eclipse that. And we can hit 95 as late as September 27th. We did that back in 2003. So again, our hottest weather of the year on the way. We're going to talk to Joe Rainieri, who's going to talk about the wildfire outlook for the rest of summer. Joe, I'm sure this hot weather that's on the way has the attention of wildfire managers.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And it's fair to say, like you're just saying, Matt, that so far our summer has been very comfortable. We haven't seen too many days in the last couple of months that were just too hot. Well, that's about to change. And the concern, not only the later part of next week with the heat, but there's also a high concern because of the threat of fire danger over the next couple months. Summer 2025 has been mild so far across the Pacific Northwest in terms of heat and how bad wildfire season has been compared to years past. But going into the later part of August,
it's the weekend that we're starting to watch closely because it does look like at least a temporary heat wave is coming our way.
This weekend is expected to bring the hottest stretch we've seen so far this year. Right now, the one thing we have on our side,
fortunately, it's not coming with strong winds. It's not coming with lightning, but it does look like a hot spell that'll be with us And certainly it appears that our fire danger indices are going to rebound upwards. We're anticipating that.
John Sultenberger is the Fire Weather Program Manager with the Northwest Interagency Coordination Center. He's already forecasting the rest of the summer to turn hot.
And we fully anticipate that the remainder of the 2025 fire season is going to have better than average potential for large, costly fires on the geographic area.
The 2025 wildfire season so far has burned nearly 200,000 acres. Last year at this time, it was already over 1.4 million acres. Now as we go into the hottest stretch of the summer, both August and September are looking to be hot here in the Pacific Northwest and beyond.
Look for August continues to call for hotter than normal conditions for the geographic area, in fact, just about the entire United States.
As more people spend time outdoors,
The main concern is human-caused fires, folks out recreating or doing yard work.
the threat of wildfires starting is going to remain high.
Fire season is not over here in the Pacific Northwest. As we know, it'll go through August and September.
Until we start seeing our first heavy rains of fall move in. Now, David and Christine, even though there's rain in the forecast for the first part of tomorrow, it's not going to be enough to really impact us, and forget about the wildfire threat, obviously. Again, the fire danger is going to be remaining high, not just throughout the month of August into September, but all the way into the early part, maybe the middle part of October. Back to you guys.
Yeah, can't stress enough to continue to stay careful. Thank you so much, Joe.